Hello and thank you for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell, for your in-depth monthly horoscope for December. Now, if you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please also check out my year 2021 special offer personal horoscope package. You can get the whole of year 21 and also the rest of year 2020 if you order this year. Plus you can get your character analysis, all based on your time, date and place of birth. This is going to give you searing insights. No two reports are the same. It's totally based on you, the individual. So please check that out beneath this video, and there is 30% off at this time. Hello Libra, and welcome to your December monthly forecast. This month is going to really bring a massive shift to your situation, and your situation has really been dominated around the emotional, security, nurturing, family and home-based dynamics for some time. Pluto, the planet of change, has been in your fourth house since 2008. It's going to be there for a couple more years, but the thing that is changing this month is that Saturn and Jupiter move into Aquarius together on the 17th and the 19th respectively, but come into a conjunction on the 21st, the winter solstice, for the first time since 1405. It's that rare. But this is your sector of self-expression. Now, usually Saturn going into the fifth house is not a barrel of laughs. But believe me, after what you've been through over the last 2.5 years, you'll be welcoming this with both arms. Because this is going to bring a platform for you to thrive. As ever, with Saturn, there needs to be perspiration. But it's not just the move of the big two, which is a structural change, that's going to have such a bearing on your situation. For as this month begins, your financial situation looks really quite strong. And the first 2 weeks can see some inflows. Even if you've gone through some losses through COVID, there can be a bounce back for you at the start of this month, which really pleases you. Also, Mercury, the planet of communication, moves to join with the Sun on the 1st into the sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius for you is all about everyday communication. It is about your links with brothers and sisters, with neighbours, with technology. It's quick, it's bright, it's breezy. And to have Mercury there from the 1st is something you can really savour. But also your ruler is going to be moving into the sign of Sagittarius on the 15th. So a wonderful trio of influences. And these are going to augment an angle that develops from the end of week 1 between the Sun and Mars in your sector of relating, which really can give you a lot of dynamism, and especially when it comes to relationships, because the position of the Sun is really about your thoughts, whereas Mars is how you interact with others. It's where you set your boundaries, where you're competitive, but also where you relate. And I think it's going to give you a lot more confidence to speak your truth. So the passion of Mars and the drive of the Sun coming together in week 2 really gives you a platform to power forwards. And also there is a brilliant solar eclipse on the 14th, which is going to embrace that Mars-Sun dimension. So that energy for you is going to percolate forwards into the first 5.5 months of 2021. So that and the combination between Saturn and Jupiter is really setting the stage for you to be much more outgoing, much more constructive in your thinking. It's not to say that you haven't been constructive, but I think you've been dealing with a lot of very deeply personal matters. So I just feel that your whole mindset is going to turn outwards. And that's where you can really engage with people with your natural flair in terms of people skills, but also for articulating ideas. So you can really start to feel that there is some light in what has obviously been such a very, very difficult year. Now, it is true to say that on the 21st, when Saturn and Jupiter move into conjunction, there is also the move of the Sun and Mercury on the same day into your sector of the home, emotions and family. And you're still going to have Pluto there through to 23. It's going to move into Aquarius partially in 23 and then back to Capricorn and back to Aquarius in 24. So that's really going to be a massive point of change for the world at large. But this combination between these two really does start to trigger the process. But for you, I feel now you can celebrate the things that you've achieved around your home, family and emotion. And there may be a contract that gets signed or sealed right from the 21st, which really delights you. Also, Christmas Day sees Mercury arcing in a very positive way with Uranus, the planet of surprises. So this suggests that something can move quickly at that point, perhaps something you've been waiting to happen, and that can really bring some more uplift. Now, if there is a relationship that is still causing you some issues, and it may be one that is very close to you, such as a family member, the fact that Mars does clash one last time in its journey through the sign of Aries, which of course has been extended over 6 long months, it clashes with Pluto. So the two rulers of Scorpio are in conflict in the last 2 weeks of this year. And I think this is essentially saying to you that keep up the boundaries that you've been developing. Don't let anyone try to push you back into just being consumed with their needs. You're a very supportive person, very caring, very attuned to others, but by being so attuned to people sometimes, there can be a danger of losing your identity. So the lesson of these transits over the last couple of years has been to really understand what your deepest emotional needs are. And it may have seen you have to embrace some more psychological issues or some emotional realities. And that could have been quite bruising at times. So there may be a little of that as this year comes to a close. But that brings us to the last day of the year, and we have a full moon in the sign of Cancer. Now, the solar eclipse, which occurs on the 14th in Sagittarius, is activating a series of polar axes that began in 1984. It first came back at the end of November, so the first 2 weeks of this month have seen a very Gemini-like energy. But that's good for you because that's an airy energy and it's about expansion and independence. But as the year comes to a close, there's just a little bit of an echo of the eclipse series of the previous 2.5, 3 years across the axes of Cancer and Capricorn. But you know, I think you've learned so much more about what you need, how you're going to be, how you want to grow the emotional foundation and base of your world, how you've evolved as an emotional human being. And as we come to this end of this very, very challenging year, you can truly look forward to a brand new dawn, Libra, in 2021. Yes, the reality of COVID, the economic fallout, the restriction on the freedom of movement, of intimacy and touch may still be there to protect us. But I do feel that for you, things are going to pick up, gain traction. You're going to be going much, much quicker. And the early part of January next year can be some of the most exciting times you've experienced for a very long while. Thank you so much for joining me. Wishing you all the best for a peaceful and safe Christmas. But for now, good luck and goodbye.